Alright, this is gonna be an in-between video. It's just gonna cover like things I've tweaked along the way. I promised, and I'm gonna keep my word, to make a third video, or rather in this case it's a fourth video, which showcases further out, like maybe Whiterun, which is crazy intense on your memory. Some dungeons, just to show how like how crazily overhauled my dungeons are. It's a big one too. But definitely gonna keep my word. But the only way to really showcase the changes I've made, don't worry, I've collectively made saves to keep track of everything here. But the only way to properly showcase my changes that I've made is really just load up from here a few saves. I think this is already a pre-made character. Load it from here. Another fun note, I complained in the previous video because I was missing my helmet. I went back and got my helmet. Because if in between while I'm adding stuff in, I actually have to replay all the way up to the point of my last showcase video, because that's how mods work. Mods are they modify scripts and they bake things into the save, so it wouldn't be smart to just add stuff. Oh god, look at the weather. What's going on here? Something's off here. I think it's the skylighting. Yeah, it's the skylighting. Sorry about that. I was playing with my EMB earlier. Let's save it out here. I apologize. That's not game related. That's just me monkeying around with the EMB. Give it a second. It's saving here. Alright, sorry about that. That's not a good part of the video. So I've already covered all my changes that I've made, like adding physics to all the hairs, adding cloaks where appropriate because it's cold, all the texture modifications. But something I recently added is called pale beauty, which basically makes everyone's skin pale. And it's not restricted to just these NPCs here. It also modifies your character that you play with. For instance, all the elf races, you know how the female high elves, they look like they have jaundice. The the dark elves, they look like walking corpses because your skin turns blue when you die, and so on and so forth. The wood elves look like, I can't explain wood elves. They look like they're made of caramel. This mod fixes their skin, and it basically gives them a lot of presets that gives them human skin tones, which is pretty nuts. It looks amazing. But yeah, just showing here really quickly what it looks like with the mod on. It fixes a lot of the inconsistencies with skin tone. Really, a good example is Legate Rick, the girl right here. Her skin used to be like it used to be an awful brown. She just didn't look right next to everyone else. But as you can see here, it's fixed. Everything's consistent. So I'll wait. I'll let this scene play out here, and then yeah, so I could show you Ulfric up close. Ulfric's pretty important to show up close. He's the best example of how the skin works. Shoot, even maybe even later I could do a show race menu and show what the races look like too. Just as a heads up, this is gonna be cut up, or rather, I'm gonna compilate a lot of different things because the tweaks and modifications that I've added in, it takes a lot of time to get to each tweak along the way. So it's best to just cut it up. So that's what I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna quickly run inside the building. These textures look amazing. Everything's parallax, by the way. Upscale, vanilla textures, and parallaxing added. So what I wanted to show here: smoking torches, candles don't smoke people. Okay, so here's Ulfric up close. The reason he's the best example, because the only tweak, or rather, the Pale Beauty addition isn't the only tweak I made. If you look at his hair, I actually manually tweaked his hair to match with his beard, and that's the end result. Now, all of the characters who have the beards of power, beards added to them to look cooler, they have matching hair now, which is something I had to do. The public release mod is not it's not right. So yeah, then he look cool. He looks so much better, dude. All right, so from here I'm gonna load up another save. Again, I've been running this all day. I do this a lot. I'm constantly testing and tweaking stuff. So the save I'm gonna load is this one. A little bit of advice out there. I've been doing this for years, so I'm super adept. I understand how everything works pretty much. So I'll try to give tidbits when I can. When you make a save, especially if you have like a heavy additional modifications in this, the best thing to do for your save is look at the floor, because when you look at the floor, when the save loads in, it the culling is turned off. Culling is just when it loads what you see. So the culling is turned off. So the only thing it's really loading is the floor, literally. So when you look up, the rest of those assets will load in, but a portion of those assets are already loaded for the world space. So it makes the possibility of your save crashing. It's not possible. It just won't crash at that point. So that's just a little advice. When you guys spiel aside, when you save, look directly at the floor. That's all I'm saying, because it stops your save. It makes your save able to load far quicker. Look at how cool Rayloff looks with HDT hair, man. That's crazy. Isn't that insane? He looks so amazing. Oh yeah, I did color tweaks too to the eyebrows, beard, and hair to make them consistent. They're actually consistent. I'm sure a lot of you guys out there who do modding, you've probably downloaded a million different texture mods that say, oh, more consistent or they're accurate hair color, and they're never right. They're never right. They never get it right because the mods don't mix. There's always an issue. So I digress though. So another mod I want to showcase here that I've added for my in between video here is I think it's called Convenient Bridges. It just, as you can see, I'm at the Standing Stones. If you're familiar with playing this game in general, you know this area all too well. Besides the ESO stones being added because the base game or the default stones look like penises sticking out of the ground. I also added convenient bridge. I think it's called convenient bridges. And as you can see here, it just puts bridges in places where you should have freaking bridges. You can simply run across, and you can see the setup. It's so easy to just get across there. That in compilation with I think it's called Ancient. I want to say Ancient Skyrim, but there's a mod that just makes the environment more interesting, and it adds this massive, cool looking statue among other things all over the world space. So for this convenient bridge thing, the what's really cool about the convenient bridge mod is when you go out to when when you look out in the distance, you can see all of the additional bridges that have been added. See it way out there? It just completely it improves the world space by like a lot. It makes this insanely, not only they're immersive, but it adds more clutter, and it makes like the distant view look far superior than the the vanilla game. And I believe it's called Convenient Bridges. I highly advise you go download this mod. So last but not least, and also I have a mod in here since it's already showcasing that basically makes torches and fires go out when it rains. As you can see, it's raining. I have Wonders of Weather on too, by the way. But the end result is fires don't burn because that makes sense. This isn't an oil fire, so it should put it out, right? So that's crazy immersive. So if you've seen my previous videos, you know my shtick. I only add stuff in that is bug fixing or immersive, and it's restricted to that. So there's no craziness. So I'm gonna do a third load here. This is crazy on my memory. And for this load, I'm going to take advantage of this to do a show race menu, and I'm just going to showcase the different skin tones that I have in here due to pale beauty. That's crazy how I'm just jumping around here. This is crazy on your memory because there's so much that's loading. Admittedly, I've been refining and tweaking textures so that pretty much optimizations so that I can go anywhere and load anything without any hassle or issue on my system. But there's still those areas that are heavy in memory, like Whiterun, the beginning of Riverwood, just stuff like that. So I'm gonna do a quick show race menu here, and the pale beauty mod doesn't just affect me; it affects the NPCs. Look how well her hair color matches her skin here, and it still looks vanilla. Isn't that crazy? Him too. These are Nords. When you hear Nord, you should think mountain people. You should think pale. These should be pale people. They're not. They shouldn't have pigment. So I'm gonna do a quick show race menu. That's me being biased there. I'll give my opinion. That is the name of the video though. It's my opinion on it. So here's the pale beauty mod. This is with the lights out. He blends with the environment so well with the lights out. I love it. I like how pale they look. This is only setting 2. So setting 0, they look just, there's almost no color in their skin, right? But the setting I usually put on is 5. This is my favorite setting, just because it gives just enough pigment. But he can get pretty dark, as you can see there. Looks pretty much sunburned. So what I'm gonna showcase here. Well, there was another thing that I wanted to showcase that I don't remember. It slipped my mind. I'm just gonna skip it for now. I'll come back later and show it. But in the meantime, the thing that I really wanted to stress here is probably with the elves. As you can see, there's a dark one. You can see it there. It just, dang, like these skin tones for the pale beauty. Pretty much just, this is what the default game looks like. And you can see the pale beauty pretty much just turns them into like humanoids, which is pretty, this is nuts to me. Like this is a godsend. Like the guy who made this is a genius. Just gonna go through the base game versions of them. Yeah, they just look like normal people now, skin wise, which is very intelligent because it's not only more immersive, because they have normal skin, aside from their their features that make them stand out as elves, which is their ears and their heights. But something about the skin is just, this is insane, man. Like I couldn't ask for anything better than this. And I appreciate the person who did this. Let's play around here. There it goes, the light with the lights off. Probably should have showcased what the base skin tone looks like, just to show that the preset is in here. So this is what the base game skin tone looks like, which is 2, I believe. It's probably even 4. 4 might be it. Yeah, 4 is dark. Yeah. So this is what the base game looks like, which is, I don't know, I think it's too much pigment. I just like the paleness. I think the paleness. I skipped the high elf, my mistake. I'm gonna go back here and just showcase it. It's with the lights off, lights on. Let's go back to the skin. Before I close this video out here, skin tone. So I went back to, oops. I have no idea what the base game skin will look like actually. I think 4. I think in every case 4. Ah, what's going on with my light? I'm trying to click the light on here. It's not turning on. There you go. So I think the base game looks like this. They look like they have jaundice or something. Like they have like a skin disease. And I prefer them pale. I like the way it looks with the new mod in here. So yeah, this is definitely a keeper. I don't have any intent or intentions of changing this out. And it changes these among other things too. But yeah, for me this is the most jarring or outstanding thing that they've modified here that I'm really appreciative of. I really I'm a fan. So like even her, for her base skin tone, as you can see, it's pushed all the way up to 3 in the default preset. But as you can see here, she kind of similarly has that yellowish skin that she starts with, but it's not really. This is what it's meant to look like, or this, or 1 or 0. But as you can see, this is amazing, man. This just looks incredible. Like it's called Pale Beauty. I recommend you guys pick it up. Um, As far as my tweaks goes for my in-betweens, I believe that's it, man. There's nothing else that I really touched or modified. There's little things like this Pale Beauty mod. It modified the red guards. As you can see here, the red guard women aren't ridiculously dark. They don't look like Wesley Snipes anymore, which is pretty cool. Which is, it starts at preset 8, which is the guy who modded these skins, man. He's pretty smart guy. Did a good job. I appreciate it. And that's pretty much it, man. I'm just showcasing my in-betweens again, as I'm gonna keep my word, and I'm going to for the next video showcase more. pretty much like Whiterun. I'm gonna try the memory intense Whiterun, and I'm also gonna explore dungeons and stuff like that, so you guys can get a feel for like how wacky, not wacky, but how different and more immersive my game is than everyone else's. It's kind of pretentious. All right, God bless.